It's the weekend coming up. Where are you going? Are you going to a theme park? Here in Charlotte, we have a theme park called Carowinds, and it kind of reminds me of Six Flags. Where I grew up in New Jersey, we had a Six Flags, Great Adventure, and Cousin Sheldon, thank you, Cousin Sheldon, he actually would give us tickets because he was the director of security. So every summer, that was something that we were doing. We would go to Six Flags, and my cousin, she would want to ride the rides. We would, we have good times. And my sister would go on the roller coasters, which I wasn't too fond of. I was scared of heights growing up. Since then, I've overcome that fear. But man, it was so funny that I would love to go out to the theme park. I would love to eat, but I wouldn't necessarily like the roller coasters. And I remember one time in particular, I was with my cousins and we were waiting in line to get on a roller coaster. They had talked me into it, they challenged my manhood, so to speak. They're like, are you scared? I'm like, yes, no, you're lying. You're like, I'm not scared, and you're shaking. I'm over there sweating because I'm nervous. But we get to the front of the line where they have to check your height, and they also have to look obviously at your weight as well. And I get to the front of the line and I realize that the minimum height required for the ride, I was shorter than that. And I got excited. I was like, wow, we waited this long and I won't be able to get on this ride. And so we're talking, and my cousins are like, yeah, we're gonna have so much fun. I'm like, yeah. Meanwhile, I'm still looking at the height requirement. I'm like, they don't know I'm not gonna be able to get on this thing. And so once we get to the front of the line, the man has me walk up to the board to get my height checked, and just like I predicted, wasn't able to get on. So I acted disappointed, like, oh man, it's terrible. In my mind, I'm like, whew, thank you, Lord. I wasn't able to get on the ride. And my cousins, they went on the ride, they had a great time, screaming, and they get off like, wow, you really missed it. But then I realized it was never intended for me to get on the ride because I didn't meet the specifications. When are we gonna realize that not everybody's ride is our ride? We each have a ride in our lives. And in our lives, there are specifications for the people that are around us, to get on our rides. They have to meet the height, they have to meet the weight, they have to have the nuances that's needed for the type of ride that we're operating. And if they do not have those specifications, that does not necessarily make them a bad person. It just doesn't the ride for them. Now, they may grow into the ride. Like myself, I eventually grew taller than the minimum, and then I had the opportunity to get on the ride. But I also have a thing called free will. I have choices to make, or the ability to make my own choices. So even though I meet the qualifications for the ride, I may choose not to ride because it's not my thing. I'd rather eat some theme park food instead of getting on a roller coaster. I may want to do some rock climbing or spend my money shooting basketball to win a prize. It just depends upon the people that we have around us, but we have to make sure that the people around us that we're putting on our rides meet the specifications for the ride that we have ahead of us. And if we do not take those precautions, what's going to happen is we're going to run the risk of injury to them. They're going to slow us down. They're going to slow down the process. They're going to wait in that line. They're going to wait the time it takes for us to figure out that they are not equipped to ride with us, when we could have been placing ourselves in position with other people that's going to be able to help us, or that will be able to help them. Let's be clear, the ride qualifications work on both sides. You may not be equipped to ride on somebody else's ride. So what are you going to do then? You're not going to feel inadequate because you've already been made adequate. It's just not the ride for you. And in the same way, some people are equipped, but they're just not equipped to ride your ride. Make sure that they meet the qualifications of the ride. Make sure first and foremost, make sure you know the qualifications of your ride, because if you don't know the qualifications on your ride, you'll be willing to let anyone else ride. And when you let anyone ride, again, it can slow you down and it can cause the ride to malfunction. Your journey may be malfunctioned by the the inadequate or the people that are not equipped to ride your ride. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe to my YouTube channel. May God continue to bless you, and I pray that this message reaches those that it's intended to reach. And if not, share it with those that it is intended to reach. Have an awesome little Friday.